1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for Beer Sports, brought to you by SeatGeek and SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420POD at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase of any tickets that are available on SeatGeek. Go there, buy some stocking stuffers for the kids. Dave, Calgary Flames they're struggling right now. They lost again tonight in a shootout. It's all over everywhere. It was in the news and pretty hot and heavy on Saturday night and then into Sunday morning. Daryl Sutter was not happy with the refereeing. Basically said it's been happening since he was his Chicago days. That's a long, long time ago. That you come into Toronto and you got to expect that to happen, where they get a few calls their way, which I don't necessarily agree with, because if that happened, at least would it be more successful. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1968. So I think Sutter's comments are a little bit off. But I didn't, and then he said, that's all I can say about that. So in other words, he didn't want to get too deep into what he was saying, because he would probably get fined and the like, or maybe suspended if he really Suttered it up or Tortorellaed it up, right? And so I don't mind those kind of comments, but I don't see why. Maybe you can tell me why. I don't see why post gamers, whether it be coaches, players, GMs, or whoever, can't say something negative about the officiating, because and I know during the game, they're not singing Kumbaya and holding hands during the game. So what they're saying during the game, why can't they say it in a PG rated form after the game?
I guess
what's it going to hurt?
Yeah. I just because it would be better. We ask these, you put the mics in front of the players' mouths and coaches' mouths all the time after every game, and get a little pissy when it's blah and it's the same answer every time, right? We can all just hear them talking and just know exactly what they're gonna say to us. Why don't they get a little bit creative? So what did you think about that penalty in overtime? I don't agree with it at all. I do not know what the official was looking at, because I surely didn't see it that way. Is that a fine?
I don't think it should be.
But is it? That's why I'm asking you. Is that a fine?
I think it probably would be, because it's coming to a specific event, a specific part of the game. Like I said, I don't think that they were they're being PC or politically correct on the ice and during the situation, right? There's no way. So why can't they put it into a politically correct way and say something after the game? Because it would actually add a little more juice to the post gamers, a little more juice to people to watch the game, bring people into the game, because they're always trying to grow the game and find ways to do it. I mean, the very first time you were on the 1420 podcast, Jesus, 2+ years ago, one of the first topics we talked about was miking guys up, and how if you paid the $60 a game and have a mic on the bench the whole bit, how much juice that would get. Have a 5-second delay so you can edit out the really bad stuff that we know happens. But I don't see why the NHL or all sports, like all the coaches, you could tell that the more experienced coaches, like the Sutters, the Belichicks, they want to say something and they kind of just don't, because they know that as soon as they start flapping their gums, it won't stop. So I don't see why it would hurt, because it's not like the referees and the umpires or the whatever it is. It's not like they don't know. It's not like they're getting hurt.
Well, I don't think the refs aren't giving it back to the guys on the ice.
100%.
Right? Just shit like this ain't the dub anymore. Why don't you take that shit back to the junior leagues? Yeah. We're not playing in Sweden. I know for a fact they're yipping stuff like that to the players all the time.
It's right back to one another. Yeah, it's no matter what.
You bet. It's a verbal sparring between the players and refs and the officials all the time. And then now it's after the game, we got a mic in their face and we're going to get all butthurt because, he said I didn't do a very good job. And the player, the reporter in the paper the next day is going to rake him over the coals. And anyone see the guy in the zebra swallow his whistle in the third quarter? I was getting mauled. How that wasn't a penalty, I'll never know. And then now I'm going to get fined for saying that. And you guys are going to tell me I'm a shitty player because I haven't scored in 4 fucking games.
Yeah,
Go
I don't,
fuck
I,
your,
I don't
yeah.
understand it. Like like I guess at the amateur level you don't want that, but would that incur? I mean, it already happens. But do you think if coaches, is it more of a if coaches and players went on the air afterwards? Do you think it would encourage a lot more of this negativity towards officials at the amateur level, which already happens anyways? But would it make it worse? So are they protecting like minor sports by not allowing the post game pressers to be even more, because the sound bites would be fantastic, but those sound bites would transfer to the Sunday morning rink and the Saturday afternoon rink in Canada and the United States and throughout the world, or to baseball fields. So you think it's maybe a little bit better that they don't, because those lines would get reused the next day by the Karens and the Stans of the world.
No, I don't think so.
They're probably not that smart.
A, they're not that smart. And B, I don't know for a fact. I actually saw something on Twitter where this Karen was. Did you see it? She was standing on the boards, yipping over the plexiglass.
So what happened was I watched it 2 or 3 times to try to get the context. The clock hadn't started, so so little Billy's team was probably winning, and the clock wasn't running. There was 4:07 left in the clock for the entire clip.
So Karen actually had a point.
So she had a point, but to get to that, like, I don't know. It's like you could yell it enough. Like I remember that would happen all the time. The 2 guys in the timekeeper's booth, they get talking about work or what they did the night before. Who knows? And they forget to start the clock or forget to stop the clock. It happened all the time. Yeah. And the referee usually start the clock, and the referee can't start the clock because he's on the ice. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with that situation. So Karen probably could have just sat up there. They would have figured it out. But little Billy's, her son was probably the goaltender, and they were winning, and she wanted the clock to run out.
I thought maybe
if they were losing, she would have said, that's fine. Right.
Yeah. I thought someone might have dropped a contact. He lost his contact. Lost his contact.
No, the 4:07 left in the clock. Like, yeah, you wonder that. Like, I like, we talked about Tortorella in the past a lot on our show, that he comes out and calls players out a little bit and calls out his team, which is a good thing. But I don't think there'd be a problem with these coaches and players coming out and saying, I thought that was a horrific call, and then say the guy's name. Because I don't think like these guys get paid a pretty good penny. I mean, they're not making athlete money, obviously, but they get paid a pretty good chunk of change to do these jobs. I really think that they should be called out more and don't get a free pass. And as an official, I'm saying that as an official, you shouldn't get a free pass and be allowed to fuck things up on a nightly basis.
I got a solution.
We should write a letter.
Well, no, I'm just going to say it right now. In the NHLPA, the Coaches Association, NHL, the officials, you can all thank me later. A half hour after the game, after everybody's had a beer and relaxed a little bit, the coach, you can have 10 minutes behind closed doors with the officials. And we're videotaping it, but it won't be held against you.
What do you see there? Yeah.
Like with the iPad, like, and then so the video guys, I want this, and this. Explain this to me. And then like behind closed doors, and anyone fucking yips and goes to the press with what they told, then like you lose your privileges or something like that. But get it off your chest. You know, they're all human. They're not going to make every call. But when if you want to yell at them, yell at them. I don't fucking care. But then the referee can yell back at you. 10 minutes, closed room, no reporters, and then you can get it off your chest, and then maybe you can build a better relationship going forward.
And then actually, that's a very good point, David. And you shouldn't let emotion get in the way of a situation, right? You shouldn't make decisions based on emotion. Like they had Sutter on the mic on tonight's Flames game. The game wasn't done for 3 minutes. I think that they should probably get away with that. I understand that it's broadcasting and this and that, but if they get a little bit of a cool down time as well, maybe they go, okay, I'm not going to say what I thought, because usually when I'm upset, and this is human beings in general, when human beings are upset, we say stupid things. like really stupid things. If you give these guys a cool down time to go, okay, it's one game, see something that maybe go and see the replay, like don't have them on TV as soon as the game's over. Give them some time to review game tape. Give them some time to review that situation. Have a conversation with the GM or somebody up in the press box or whatever it may be, and then they go, okay, and then let them talk, or have that conversation with the referee and then let them talk.
Right.
And then